Okay. Hi, Grandma. Why don't you tell everyone what your name is?
Hi, this is Helen McGauthiar. I'm
Okay.
Kelly's grandmother.
And when were you born?
I was born July 8th, 1929.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Titusville, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Why don't you tell me what your life was like when you were born?
I was born and raised in Titusville, and we lived in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I have one sister.
Okay.
She's 6 years older than me.
Okay. And you had a mom and a dad both living at home?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was the Depression when you were a kid. So.
When I was small, yes,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't remember a lot of it.
But you guys lived a relatively simple country life, right?
Right. We didn't have electricity. We had no plumbing.
That must have been unusual
Well,
compared to now.
It was, because I can remember when we got electricity and I couldn't get over. You just flipped a switch and the light came on. I couldn't get over that.
And I suppose that made refrigeration easier?
Right.
What did you do with your food before that?
Well, during the summer we didn't make Jell-O and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But we did have an ice box.
Okay.
But of course it wasn't as good as a refrigerator.
Right. But you felt like you had a good childhood. You didn't feel like you struggled as a family?
We didn't have everything.
Mm-hmm.
We was on the poor side, but that was good. That
Mm-hmm.
taught us a lot.
You feel like that helped make you the person you are today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was your school life like?
I went to a one-room school,
Mm-hmm.
which had 8 grades in it.
Wow.
And we got along fine. If I got my work done, I would help other children with their...
Like younger kids?
Younger.
Okay. And so you liked school?
Yes, I liked school.
Okay. But you left school in the 8th grade?
I went through the 8th grade.
And you left after that. Why?
Because we were still living in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and we did not have bus service to high school in town.
Mm-hmm.
We lived about 5 miles out in the country.
Okay.
There was no bus service.
So it just didn't make sense
No.
to keep going.
Mm-mm.
So is that when you decided to start working?
Yes.
Okay, and what were your jobs like? So at this point you were how old? Maybe 13, 14 years old?
I was about 15.
15, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what were your jobs that you had as a young girl?
I went and cleaned homes
Mm-hmm.
for other people. I babysat. I worked at the hospital in the laundry room and in the kitchen.
Okay.
And from there I went to a W.T. Grant company and I worked there.
And that was a department store?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And didn't you remember what your wages were? What do you remember?
$15 a week.
Wow. Was that a lot then for then?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you were a young girl getting close to adulthood. What did you think your life was going to be like? Did you expect I'm going to get married? Did you think you'd move away? What were you thinking you wanted in life?
Just to get married, I guess.
Okay.
Is what I had in mind.
So you weren't thinking of a career or moving far away?
No.
Just you thought you'd get married and have
No.
a family?
We were a close family.
Okay.
I worked there for a few years. I met my husband, and we got married in 47.
And were you crazy in love with him?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a really exciting time when you met him?
Yeah.
How long did you date before you got married?
About 2 years.
Oh, was that common then, or was that a long engagement, or?
I think they considered it a long.
Okay, because you were a smart lady, right?
Well, I don't know about that.
So, when you decided to get married, did you plan a big wedding? How did you do it?
No.
Okay.
Just simple. I was married at home.
Okay.
Just a simple.
So just your parents were there? Was his mother there?
A few families,
okay,
members.
Okay.
And
so it was very cheap.
Very.
Very. Okay. But you felt satisfied, and it was a good start for you. And where did you live when you first got married?
We had an apartment.
Okay.
Downtown.
Was that exciting compared to the country?
Yes, it was. I thought, gee, we really came up in the world. Electricity, refrigerator, and
you were big stuff then.
Oh yeah.
You were a city girl. Okay, well, so were times still tough then, though, economically?
Yeah, they were, and work wasn't good at all there. So in 1949, we moved here to Ohio.
Okay, because of jobs.
Right.
Okay.
My husband found work, and of course he found a job that took him away from home all the time.
Right. So you moved away from your family, which was hard in itself, and then he gets a job where he's going to be gone all of the time.
Right.
So was that hard for you?
Very hard. Very hard.
It was a little bit lonely?
Oh, yes, because I didn't know anybody.
Mm-hmm. And so what did you do in Ohio? Because you didn't have any children yet.
No, I didn't. But I did get acquainted with different people.
Uh-huh.
And we was here about 2 years, and I got pregnant.
Was that an exciting time for you?
Very. Mm-hmm.
And what year was that?
51.
51, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you were a 50s housewife.
Yes.
Did you always have dinner on the table, or?
When my husband was home, he drove truck long distance, and he wasn't home through the week.
Uh-huh. Okay, so you weren't always the typical 50s housewife. You had a lot of free time.
Right.
Okay. Then you had a daughter, my mother.
I had a daughter, right.
And what was that like to have your first child?
Oh, that was really exciting.
Was it?
Oh, my.
So it dramatically changed your life?
Yes, it did.
Okay. In a good way, though?
Oh, yes.
Good. And then you had a son?
Yes. In 54, I had a son.
Okay.
Born.
Okay. And that changed everything. That gave you double the fun or double the work?
Well, both. It was both. But I really enjoyed my children.
Mhm.
Because my husband worked away, and I spent an awful lot of time with them.
Yeah.
And when they got older, I started going to PTA meetings and.
So you got more involved, and you had more.
And met more people.
That's great. So how did? So you didn't resent that your husband was working all the time, or you did sometimes?
I did at times, but then it was a job, and he made pretty good money.
Right, right. So I mean, it was just what you had to do.
Right.
so the 50s, what kind of, what were things like then? Was it just a simple time, or?
Well, we bought our own home.
Right, okay, so you rented first.
Here in Conneaut.
And then you purchased a home.
Right.
And how was that? Was that scary, or were you happy?
Oh, I was happy about that.
Really?
It was a large house, and I just loved it.
Wow.
But I didn't like being alone.
Yeah.
My husband being away, but I coped with it.
Right. So the older the kids got, the more involved they were with other things, or the more involved you got in their lives. Did things get more complicated, or?
Yes, they would participate in different things at school, and of course I always went to.
So you were a stay-at-home mom, and you worked hard that way. You didn't go outside of the home to work after that. Now I'm not sure, at what point did you had a major health concern?
That was in 73. I had an aneurysm in my head.
And you almost died, didn't you?
Right.
How did that change your life?
Well, I wasn't allowed to do much of anything for a while. Quite a while.
Did it scare you? Did you re-examine your life in some way?
Yes, it did. But then life gradually got back to the same.
Yeah. Yeah, but back then that was unusual to survive something like that, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Well, and so your children, they eventually married, and then they started having their own children.
Right.
Like me. And how was that like? What was having grandchildren like for you? Did that change?
That was great.
Was it different than your children?
Oh yes, because you can spoil them and then just leave them.
Oh, okay. So that was very rewarding for you as well, to have grandchildren. And it was you and Grandpa. You were a team. You were happily married, but he was still driving truck, right?
Right.
So was it more challenging that your kids weren't home at that point? They were married, or were you busy with grandchildren, so you were fine?
They got married in 73.
But, I mean, were you busy with grandchildren so you didn't feel alone? I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but you didn't have to worry, dwell on the fact that your kids were gone.
No.
Okay.
They both lived here in Conneaut. And then I had grandchildren.
So that kept you busy.
Yeah.
And, at what point did Grandpa retire?
He retired in, I think it was 68.
Oh, he was retired by then?
Yeah.
Oh, when did you guys start traveling?
We didn't travel much.
Well, you did, when your son moved away, you started traveling a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And was that a new element in your life that you appreciated, or?
Yes. And we'd try and go to all the grandchildren's activities in school as they graduated and different things.
Okay. So how your married life was good then? You felt
really it was. Yes.
You felt busy and fulfilled, and you still felt in love.
Yes.
And I know that Grandpa got really sick in the 90s.
Yes, he did.
And how was that? Was that really?
That was really frustrating. Because he was sick for about 3 years, and they didn't know what was wrong with him. Well, it ended up that he had cancer.
Right.
And he died in 95.
And that was terrible for everyone, I know.
Right.
And it had to have been, the most terrible for you because, I mean, you were married for how many years? 45 years?
Oh, no, it was 47.
47. I mean, that's crazy to be married to someone that long and then they're just gone. How did you cope with that?
Well, I didn't sit around and brood about it a whole lot.
No, you didn't. I know that. You didn't. Did you feel like you just had to do that to make it?
Yes, I had to keep busy. I had to keep busy. And one day, my daughter said to me, "Mom, why don't you finish school?"
And had you ever thought about that before?
No, I hadn't thought about it. And the more I thought about it, I thought it was a good idea, so I did. I went back to school and got my GED.
And how was that exciting for you? Was that?
Yes, it was, because back home they gave me an honorary diploma.
That's really neat. I know when I first learned that you didn't graduate, I was shocked because you always helped me with my homework when I was a kid. You're a very smart woman. It surprised me that you didn't have all those years of education behind you. But we were very proud of you when you got your GED. That was something.
And my daughter had an open house for me at the church, and it was really nice.
Yeah, well, it's something to be proud of for sure. And you started getting involved in more activities also.
After that, yes, I did volunteer work for Catholic Charities. And after that, I joined the Red Hat ladies.
Which is that you guys go out and do social events and act kind of crazy. And
go on best trips and live it up.
Live it up. Yeah, you live it up now. And you've joined a church and you've become real active there, right?
Yes.
You've just. So, I think your life was really great and fulfilling before that, but, before Grandpa passed away, but I feel like it changed a lot after.
Oh, it did. And you wake up one morning and you're alone. You're definitely alone and you don't know what you're going to do.
So did you feel like you had to just reinvent yourself?
Do something. To keep busy. And
so your life has been good in all these different stages. It's just been different.
Right.
But you've never, you don't stay stagnant. You keep going and moving along.
It's better. It's better to be that way than to sit home and feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah. Are there any big... Well, and also I want to say that you are financially, you were prepared. You and Grandpa made choices that made your retirement a lot easier. You don't have to struggle as much. Is that correct?
That's right. And some people don't do that.
Right.
And it's a big mistake that they don't look ahead.
Right. And so you feel like, do you feel like you are able to be more comfortable and live your life, without a lot of worries?
Yes. He made sure that I was taken care of. That was for sure.
Well, that was a gift that he gave you then.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, are there any big... anything from your life? Is there any major lessons or deep, meaningful things that you can, that you feel you've gotten from life? I know you've got a lot more to live, but... No, but I think that a lot of people don't prepare themselves for old age. Okay.
And that they should do that. Even though life gets tough along the way.
Right, right. You feel like you shouldn't just, I think what I've learned from you is that you didn't just give up at any point in your life, no matter what age you were or what situation was happening. I feel like you've just found new ways to live, and you've always looked ahead and kept moving forward.
Right.
And I think that's why you're living a good life now.
Well, maybe.
So that's a lesson you want your great-grandchildren that you now have.
Yes, I have 4 great-grandchildren.
So we need to pass this along to them so they prepare for their old age.
Right.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of your life. We'll just have to see what you have in store for us next.
Well, it'll be a surprise.
Yes. Thank you, Grandma.
You're welcome.